But this time, going to be taking a look about bonus boards. So can we talk a little bit about the bonus boards in Horizon 4?
Let's, because it feels like almost like a really tiny feature of Horizon games to spend any time talking about, but I kind of feel like it's been in every one of the Horizon games to date. Yeah. It started in the very first Horizon game when I think, in all honesty, we needed some quite cheap gameplay to to put around the open world, and we thought, what could we hide around the open world that players could go find? But I think since then we've just got better at it. We've found the fun in it. We've found the different types of gameplay that can be involved in finding and smashing a bonus board, of which there are usually about 150 in the game. And I think certainly on Forza Horizon 3, and I think this is thanks to one of our designers, Matt Piper, a big shout out to him, who really sort of raised it kind of to an art form, hiding bonus boards in devious places around the world. And I had a ton of fun, playing the game at home once we launched on Horizon 3, spotting them, figuring out how he wanted me to go and go about smashing it. And he's done the same on this game, and that's kind of what we're going to be looking at just over the next few moments in game, just to pick out a couple of the most deviously hidden bonus boards, and we're going to be seeing if Andy has got the driving skills.
Got the skills. I almost feel that we should get a poll going on the chat if it's possible as well.
It feels hardly worth it.
What? I love polls. It's good fun. Mixer polls are great.
You do love a poll.
So I think we're going to the first one. All right. Do you reckon he's going to do it first try? Right.
So just to be clear, it's up in that top pipe there. He's having a look.
Can he drive up to it?
And this is kind of what I mean. And there's a ton of these boards, right, which are just by the side of the road. I don't mean to say that all 150 are like sort of Nintendo-style puzzles, but there's a bunch of them which have got some real sort of problem-solving or skill-based gameplay around them. This is definitely, I think, a little bit of both. It's a little bit of problem-solving, and now it's all about whether Andy's got the skill.
The thing is, right, we've seen him practicing a little bit earlier.
Quite a lot.
Saying a little bit, it's being generous. Here we go, is he going to do it? No. There's too much of that.
Feels really familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it's just like he's hitting the floor again. We haven't seen this once at all.
No.
But I think that's the thing that I love so much about this, because it reminds me of the event that we actually saw at E3, where during the showcase you have to kind of thread the needle.
That's right.
Through the thing. It feels like it's a more extreme version of that.
You have to do it in midair, yeah.
You got to kind of no, hold on. No, it's too short. It's close. It was close. How many attempts will it take? Okay, 28% of what was it? 41% of people say it's going to take you more than 3. So
I like how 3 plus is
3 plus.
3 plus.
3 plus.
We're sitting here like 10 p.m. or something.
I think that's a wise place to put your money.
3 plus.
Yeah.
Just put your feet up and kind of do it. But it's true. It was like you're saying how well these are hidden around in the world. And is he going to? No, that was close. That was close. Because I was just kind of having a little drive about earlier, and I found one on top of the viaduct.
Yes.
And then you just kind of see this little board. Right? Here's the thing: you'll find yourself doing the rewind, trying to perfect it.
There's one which I found is quite early in the game, and it's in the back garden of this little house in Broadway, which is in sort of south of the map, and it's this beautifully kept back garden, and there's a children's football goal, and it's in the football goal, and you basically have to ruin this family's garden in order to.
Oh, there we go. Right, we got the first one. Round of applause. He's got right now. You can't see it, but he has got the biggest grin on his face. He's like, I've done it. You said it would take me loads of attempts. I'm here till 10 p.m. I've done it. Can't say anything now. And now we've got another board for him to try and smash. So we're gonna be here until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go and do a slightly different one. Is that where you're going? You want it? Oh, you're feeling emboldened.
He's feeling confident now. This is like one of the hardest ones I've seen so far because there's so many. Like,
in fairness, he didn't get close to this.
I mean, and it would be fair to say Andy was nearly in tears trying to do this.
I just love seeing like all the different effects and like kind of how the snow changes.
Yeah, it just occurred to me. This is the first time I think we're showing night in one of these
Yeah.
streams, which is cool.
Yeah, so there's actually some really cool stuff that we're doing in night, which we've never done before, which is worth talking about. So you'll notice if people are watching closely that we've got proper shadow casting lights now from the car, which is a really cool new feature. It creates a sort of another dimension. You get all this form that you never used to get before, but also all of the environment stuff is doing the same stuff as well. So. It's a really cool new piece of tech. It looks particularly fancy when you're in a race with lots of other cars and they're all casting.
Yeah. It looks great in Edinburgh as well, which we will be showing next week. Next week we will be showing Edinburgh for everybody who's hanging out waiting for that tonight.
Right, but guys, remember, we are looking at winter. So if you've got any questions for winter, get them in the chat right now, because we've got loads coming up right now. Square Jacob has just asked, are there blizzards like in Forza Horizon 3?
There is some pretty extreme snowy weather,
we're stopping short of calling them blizzards.
I think we're stopping short of calling them blizzards. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Blizzard-like weather.
There's the blizzard-like weather. Yeah, there's
I mean, so if you're British, you would probably refer to it as a blizzard, but you know we do tend to exaggerate these things.
That is true.
That is a thing. But yeah, the weather really does descend, and the fogging and everything will get really thick, and you'll see lots of snow particles.
I know what you're saying.
Close.
Yeah, we've been here, haven't we?
Deja vu.
I know what you're saying. It doesn't. I don't think it gets as extreme as it did in Blizzard Mountain.
Yeah.
But the point of Blizzard Mountain was really like to turn that up to 11, because that was the experience. Like being on a mountain in a blizzard was kind of like the point behind that expansion.
Miles away.
I knew he was going to do it then.
Miles away.
So the book 92 said, what do super wheel spins do?
What do super wheel spins? Well, they're like wheel spins, but super basically. There are 3 reels rather.
I thought it was going to clip.
Pretty close. There are 3 wheels rather than 1, and I think I'm right in saying, and I'm kind of looking at Ben now across the monitor, I think there's like a more rare or legendary stuff goes into super wheel spins. So you get 3 things that stop, you win all of them, and you can win some of the best prizes in the game. And it is super awesome actually when they all land, and if you get 3 good things.
So we've got another question from PTG. PTG Dan says, can you force a season change via a blueprint?
Yes you can. Yes you can. You can choose when you blueprint an event. You can choose any of the seasons.
Right, so there we go. And also, Fizz says, is there still animals in winter?
Yes, there absolutely is, and they carve tracks in the snow just as the cars do.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you chase the sheep.
How are the sheep? What's the sheep's volume like?
The sheep's volume. It's quite voluminous.
The volume is at its highest.
Yeah.
That is highest.
You don't want those guys to get cold.
Ralph,
Right.
what you want to know you do? You don't want to hit the first bit.
So I've just.
What you need to do is go through.
I mean, I've just realised
through
we've
the
been at this
pipe,
for so
right.
long. The sun is coming back.
Yeah. It's when it sets again.
Oh god. Right. Okay. I'm giving this back to Andy.
They can't can I have one go to just go through the thing? Because I've looked at this all day, right, and I am determined that this cannot be that difficult. Right, this is, that moment where it can backfire.
Last words.
Right. Okay, will we be able to change seasons in private free roam?
No, you won't. So, except for using the blueprint system, you will be on the sort of server-controlled, or if you're offline, the system clock version, so that everybody experiences them at the same time.
But also, we've got some more questions coming in. So, guys, get them in the mixer chat as we kind of head on. We looked at mud last week, okay, and this I think because we're by actually the 4x4 place, which is a lot
are
more
in it. Yeah.
mud. Like, how much does it change? Because it seems a lot more crunchy.
It does.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah. So this is, I guess, winter's version of deformable mud, like deformable snow, which we sort of first had in the Blizzard Mountain expansion, and yeah, there's a bunch of different depths to the deformable snow that you'll find in the game. As Ben said earlier, also, you know, it's not just all snow. There's also some areas in the south which are just frosty. There's roads which are cleared and roads which are not, and roads which are kind of like, you know, I guess British people will recognise this kind of road from when it does snow, as it did earlier this year.
Beast from the East.
The Beast from the East, yeah, absolutely.
Did you kind of, was that kind of like, as a game developer, like the dream moment to happen, especially when you're working Forza Horizon 4, you knew you were having winter in there. Was that just like kind of like a gift where you're like...
If you're working on a game based in the UK with winter in it, then yes,
yeah,
there was...
yeah. I mean, it's fair to say that, I mean, every season has kind of been the perfect season this past couple of years. So yeah, it was awesome. And we absolutely went out and didn't just have fun building snowmen. We went out and got...
Is that the snowman that we knocked over earlier? Was that yours? Was that your snowman? We're like, all right, we're going to build a snowman, it's for the game.
I mean, actually, the guys had, they had to do the difficult, painful task of going to that same 4x4 park in the snow to drive it, just because Andy absolutely needed to find out how the cars were handling on a combination of mud and snow.
It was apparently very important to him.
Yeah, it was very, very
I'm not surprised. Did he kind of push for it hard? I need to go. It needs to be right.
Absolutely, yeah. And to be fair to him, he came back with some pretty good reference, and it's made for a pretty authentic experience inside that park. So.
What else? What kind of else did you kind of get from the Beast from the East to kind of put into Forza Horizon 4?
I think the other thing is maybe, like, you remember how long that sort of lasted. Like, quite often in Britain, you get that thing where it snows and then very quickly melts away. But I think because we had that real harsh cold winter, everything froze and stuck around for quite a long time. So we got to experience what that, you got that slushy sort of look to the roads you get in Britain when it starts to melt, which is totally there. But also when you get a real hard frost on tarmac, that's something that we don't necessarily see all that often, but we got to experience lots of it during that particular part of the year. And that's something that we've managed to replicate.
You kind of get the kind of same slipperiness kind of going at that speed as well, because where you have to kind of change your style of driving to kind of compensate for that kind of like ice and that slush.
Absolutely, and there's some other like specific things going on which I know the car handling guys got really into and made quite a few observations around which they weren't expecting, which is just the sudden shocking drop in temperature on the tyres when you hit that snowy surface. Did some really unexpected things to the way the cars were handling inside the physics model. Which gives you this whole new sort of layer of depth to the driving experience in winter in certain areas of the map.
Yeah, and also, because like Ralph, you said it straight from the offset at the start of these streams that winter was your favourite season, right? What is it that makes like winter your favourite?
So I think for me the biggest thing is, I think it's incredibly powerful when a game can change the way it looks completely. I'm sure I'm not alone in loving games, playing games a lot, and then when you absolutely love a game, when you play it a lot, you get super familiar with it. You totally understand every inch of the world that you're playing in, and what this game, and in particular winter within this game, does is on a really regular basis completely change the way the world looks, so that when you return to it, sure, it's the same world that you've been playing in, it's the same roads that but it looks so completely different that it's almost kind of like just refreshing.
Yeah, like I always throw back to playing the E3 demo when you kind of went through that kind of like demo track and you were actually going down the same road, but no one really noticed because it was so drastically different, which is kind of going to be amazing. We saw the map as well, which is you guys have actually shared on Instagram and Twitter. If anyone wants to go check that out, go to Instagram or Twitter at Forza Motorsport on Twitter or at Forza Motorsport Official on Instagram, and you can check out the map in winter because it looks so different, just the map from what we saw last week.
And to jump on your point about it, looking super different, you didn't recognise it. I think that's actually true for a bunch of the guys on the development team as well. The first time we did that route and we started working on it, people were surprised when they heard that was the same stretch of road we were using, which was kind of validation for us that it really did feel and look like a very different experience.
And there's the white space again as well, which is always nice to see. But we've got a few. We can get in a couple last questions, guys. So if you've got any last questions, this is your chance to get them in, get them answered by Ralph and Ben as we kind of come up to the end. Because what do we have on next week as well? Because next week is the final season.
It's the final season. It's the final show. What will we do with Tuesday nights after that? We're built up quite a debt, haven't we? We've promised that we will show Edinburgh, so we will. We've promised that we'll show competitive team racing, so we will. I can't remember if we promised any other things, but we almost inevitably
This
have.
is the moment where I kind of need to just try and get you to promise more things, because then it's just
Well-
so we can then get more things next week.
So yeah, I know. Obviously, it goes without saying. Spring. We will be showing spring. I think we'll probably drop the spring map in the same way we have the winter map on social media this next week as well. So there's a ton of stuff coming up in our final show next week.